I'm the most pampered true daughter of Haishi's richest family. To hide my identity, I dated a scumbag and swallowed endless humiliation. And in the end his childhood sweetheart who pretended to be a rich heiress actually tried to run me over and kill me. Right before I died, that scumbag was still protecting the killer, watching me take my last breath. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the night of the car accident. This time, I'm done pretending. I'm calling my billionaire big brother over right now to send that pair of dogs straight to hell.
Xia Wei, tonight, in front of so many people, you made me lose face. I'll make sure you live to regret it. You were so arrogant when you exposed me back then. Ever think you'd end up like this?
Shen Qiyue's familiar words rang in my ears. Only then did I realize I'd been reborn to the very moment Shen Qiyue drove straight into me.
Xia Wei, stop calling me. I know you're just jealous of me and my relationship with Qiyue, so you're just making things up to drive a wedge between us. Qiyue would never run you over. Her car costs tens of millions. It's not worth wrecking it just to hit you. This time, no matter what you say, I won't believe you again.
After he finished, he fell silent, as if waiting for my reaction. But unlike in my previous life, I didn't beg him or try to explain. I didn't try to make him see Shen Qiyue's true colors. Instead, I watched Shen Qiyue drive away without a care, and with difficulty, I raised my hand and hung up. Using the last bit of battery on my phone, I dialed one final number. Once the call connected, enduring the pain tearing through my whole body, I said, "Brother, save me." My ears were ringing. I couldn't even make out what he was saying on the other end, but I was certain my eldest brother would come. I'm my big brother's most cherished little sister, and the only daughter of the Xiao family. My family guards and protects me strictly. All these years, I've been hiding my identity, just to stay with Xie Juochuan and date him. That was already the limit of what they could tolerate. If they ever found out someone dared to hurt me, they'd make that person pay back 100, 1,000 times over. If she hits me with the car one more time, I really won't make it out alive.
Juochuan said you weren't dead, so it really was true.
Xia Wei, how are you?
It turned out to be Xie Juochuan's older brother, Xiamia's. I remembered how, in our last life, to save me, he knelt and begged Xie Juochuan for 3 days and 3 nights, only to end up being cornered by Shen Xi's thugs, who trapped him in an alley and beat him to death. A flood of emotion surged in my heart. But above all, guilt and gratitude. I swore that in this life I would never drag him down again, and never let him be hurt because of me. There was no time to think about why he would show up here. I shoved him away. Don't worry about me.
Hurry and go. You blind fool, where did you crawl out from? Do you even know who I am? How dare you get in my way when I'm teaching this little nobody a lesson? Do you have a death wish?
He's Xie Juochuan's older brother. If you hurt him, aren't you afraid Xie Juochuan will come after you?
So what if he's Xie Juochuan's big brother? I just can't stand the sight of him. I'm determined to teach him a lesson. Besides, I'm the second young lady of the Xia family. The Xie family owes everything they have today to me. If I insist that you were the one who hurt him, do you think Xie Juochuan would believe you, or me? If he kills you, then it has nothing to do with me.
Enough. I am the real miss of the Xiao family.
You lie so well it almost sounds real, but my eldest brother from the Xia family already said it himself, that I am his only sister. How dare you impersonate me here?
My parents are devoted to each other. They don't have any other illegitimate daughters. My eldest brother also personally promised that in this life he'll only ever acknowledge me as his sister. So where did she suddenly pop out from? Outside this deserted road there's a deep river. If I roll down, I'll definitely die.
Xia Wei, run, now, I'll hold her off.
someone from the Xiao family came and saved both me and Xiamia's.
Who did this to you?
If I didn't have something urgent tie me down, I'd definitely have flown over with my secretary.
I don't want him to blow this up. At least, not yet. Brother, the marriage alliance that was set for next month, with the Xie family, I want to change the groom.
You're not marrying Xie Juechuan anymore?
You've been devoted to him for 3 years.
I thought you'd marry no one but him.
I don't want him anymore. I want Xiamia's. Also, all these years, everything we poured into Xie Juechuan, I want all of it taken back. I took Xie Juechuan as the man in my heart, but he treated me like a pathetic simp, letting his friends humiliate me as they pleased. No matter in my last life or this one, Xie Juechuan has always protected that Shenxia to the very end. I'm utterly disappointed in him.
Got it. I'll do as you say. I need to call my secretary back right away. The Xia family's bodyguards will stay to protect you. Focus on recovering in the hospital.
And about your injuries. Don't even think about hiding anything from me.
I'll have someone get to the bottom of it.
This time, before I could answer, he hung up. I had originally wanted to ask about Shenxia, but it seems I'll have to wait until next time.
Xia Wei, are you?
You actually hired people to bully Qiyue. She's the second young lady of the Xia family.
Haven't you heard?
You're not far from your death date. My head snapped to the side from the slap, yet all I felt inside was the absurdity of watching a farce. She's from the Xia family, then why is her surname Shen?
What do you know?
She's the Xiao parents' late-in-life child, the one the whole family protects above all.
They hid her real name and identity for safety.
What's so strange about keeping a low profile?
Qiyue and I have been friends since childhood, and I only just found out who she really is. Besides, a woman like you isn't even in our social circle.
Why was Shen Qiyue released?
Who do you think you are? You dare bully my lady? I'll teach you a lesson on her behalf.
Are you crazy? You don't even recognize me? I'm the real second young lady of the Xia family.
Looks like you've taken the wrong medicine. I've worked for the Xia family for almost 10 years, and I only know Miss Qiyue. Who do you think you are, to dare impersonate her?
Juechuan, what do you think we should do? Tonight I just wanted to have a quiet drink with my friends. But your girlfriend stood there in front of everyone and accused me of pretending to be Miss Xia. The Xia family motto has always been to keep a low profile, so I held back again and again. I even had someone invite her into a luxury car and see her off politely, but she still slandered me, saying I hit her with my car and ruined my Xia family's reputation. How are we supposed to settle this?
Everything she says twists the truth. It's nothing short of a wild fantasy.
He held her head down and forced her to kowtow to the floor.
Xia Wei, I really didn't think you were this kind of person. Hurry up and apologize to Qiyue.
Keep kowtowing until she's willing to forgive you.
Since I was born, I've only ever knelt to my parents. Being forced to do this is an insult to my dignity.
You really don't know what's good for you.
Let me tell you an inside story. The Xia family is going to form a marriage alliance with our Xie family.
And the one they are marrying is me.
People of our status could never be with a
cheap woman like you. You'd better kill that idea of climbing up the ranks.
Now admit you were wrong and apologize to Qiyue. Maybe, for the sake of what we had, I'll ask her to spare your life.
Xie Juechuan, no matter who the Xia family allies with, it won't be you. You'd better get ready to be kicked out of the Xia family.
You lowly thing.
How dare you talk to me like that? If you insist on being stubborn, then I don't mind crippling you for good.
Let's see if you're still this arrogant then.
The hospital gown on his body was soaked in blood.
Don't believe a word Shen Qiyue says. She's a scheming woman with a vicious heart. She's not even a real Miss Xia. If you want to hurt Shi Wei, you'll have to kill me first.
Shameless thing. You still dare to spread rumors and stir up trouble for me? Don't think I don't know. You failed to seduce my sister, so you flew into a rage, trying to pit us brothers against each other. Why be jealous of Juechuan just because he can marry into the Xia family? Showing up at the hospital, together with that cheap woman Xia Shi. Your intentions couldn't be more obvious.
No wonder. It was the same in my last life. You two really did
collude to deceive me.
No wonder in this life, even though I clearly didn't ask him for help. So sure I was lying.
Do you have any idea what happens to someone who harms a miss of the Xia family?
Instead of letting the Xias destroy you, you should be grateful I'm being this lenient.
If my family finds out what you've done to me, the first ones to die will definitely be you.
Xia Shi, you're on the verge of death and still daydreaming. Let's see if you can walk out of here alive. Before you talk big, today, I'll teach a good lesson. On behalf of those parents who didn't raise you right.
I was completely pinned down, my body unable to move an inch. All I could do was close my eyes in unwilling surrender, silently waiting for my life to slip away. What are you doing here?
Mr. Xia, what brings you here?
Are you feeling unwell somewhere? I'll call the hospital staff for you right away, and have the top specialist come examine you. Who is that? Bring her over and let me take a look. Mr. Xia.
That's just one of my people.
A mere small fry. She failed to protect the second young lady properly today. I'm disciplining her right now. You better not look, so it doesn't offend your eyes.
I was never allowed to go out freely since I was little. At home, they were afraid competitors would seize any chance to poison me. He took me to a crowded amusement park, and on the way, he completely forgot that when he was first hired. And I was kidnapped on the way. That day, my parents and my brother nearly went mad. Even after they found me and brought me back, the company immediately rushed me to the hospital for emergency treatment. I was at death's door and almost lost my life.
Mr. Xia, aren't you being a bit too nervous?
For something to worry you this much.
It must be someone very important.
So how would they show up here? I can vouch for this bodyguard.
He really was just disciplining his subordinate.
She didn't follow her captain's orders.
And rushed in recklessly.
Of course she needs a proper lesson.
Disobedient bodyguards. He could only force his body to move bit by bit. I'm here. Look at me.
What's wrong with him?
And the woman who was with her?
And know that I'm with Xiamia's, but after that call ended, my phone battery was completely dead, so he couldn't reach me anymore.
We didn't see any woman.
That woman you're asking about.
What's her relationship to you?
Maybe we can help you look for her.
Tonight's rescue operation was also personally handled by my eldest brother's secretary. Most of the bodyguards could only stay outside the site. They couldn't get close enough to see my face. He ordered his men to take Samuels away. And this time, he didn't hesitate at all. He simply turned around and left.
What was that sound?
It's nothing.
I accidentally bumped into the chair.
Take care on your way out. Also, if you ever need any help,
Please be sure to let me know.
The CF family will always be
your most dependable partner.
He's never been like this before. Kept a cold face the entire time.
What are you making noise for?
You, the good-for-nothing like you, are literally nobody.
Do you actually think that just because you caught young Master Shia's attention, he's going to come save you?
It's all your fault that Siamuse
Was taken away by the Shia family's eldest brother.
If this ends up affecting my marriage alliance with the Xia family,
I'll make you pay for it.
What good does it do to take it out on me, if you really want to know? Why not go ask them yourself? The true second young lady of the Xia family. You haven't been drawing water with a bamboo basket, for nothing.
Of course Shen Chiue is the real one.
Really? Then why did the Xia family's eldest brother just come in and act like he didn't see her?
Shut your mouth. It's not your turn to talk here. You can't even begin to imagine how the Xia family protects me. My eldest brother didn't respond to me only because he didn't want me, as the Xia family's second young lady, to be hurt by some irrelevant nobody like you.
Kept going out again and again.
Aren't you always so eager to show off, with that fake sense of justice? You even claim you're the real young lady. What a delusional joke.
Admit you're a fake.
say it. Now, if you don't say it, then today I'll just drown you right here.
Dying one more time doesn't scare me anymore. He'll naturally tell my big brother everything, so I don't have to worry that he won't even know how I died. Avenge me.
Looks like she's still being stubborn.
Then there's no need to hold back.
Let's go straight for something harsher.
I refuse to believe she'll still defy us today.
Guess what will happen if I put this into the water? I'm sure it'll feel just great.
You'll get to taste it soon.
Fear still flooded my mind. Die here for nothing.
Who hurt you?
How'd you end up hurt like this?
I'm sorry. I woke up too late. I've already told your big brother everything. I should have woken up earlier and brought him to come find you.
It's okay. Anyway, I'm still alive. I just need some time to recover.
How did she get involved with the eldest son of the Shia family?
Like that?
Enough for him to fuss over her like this. Chiue. What is going on?
Isn't he your big brother?
Then why is he treating Xiaoshui with such concern?
Even if he wants to pretend he doesn't know you.
Isn't this going a bit too far?
I'm your fiancé.
Not some outsider.
Stop her.
This woman, along with Xie Juechuan,
And that,
Bodyguard captain we saw last time. Arrest them all and take them away.
before Shui fully wakes up and
tells us everything.
no one here is allowed to leave.
Thank you.
Child, how did you end up like this? Mom has been so worried about you. I thought the way we protected you was already safe enough. I never thought you would still end up.
Where exactly did things go wrong?
As arrogant as they were back then, they're just as panicked now.
Xia Shiwei.
What is going on? Did you badmouth us in front of Mr. Xia, saying nasty things about us?
Otherwise, why would he have?
Locked us up, when his own sister is in here too.
Has your brain always been this muddled? I've already told you I'm the Xia family's second miss. Do you think my big brother has nothing better to do? Coming to the hospital just for me? That's the best proof.
I'm sorry. I didn't do it on purpose. I really didn't know Shiwei was the real heiress of the Xia family. I just drank too much. I wanted to show off in front of those men, so I pretended to be her just that once. I kowtowed to second miss for offending her. I admit I was wrong. I can take on all the injuries she suffered to make up for them. Just spare my life, please. I'm begging you.
You're not the younger miss of the Xia family? Why didn't you say so earlier? I thought the Xia family was so powerful. They'd guard their young lady heavily, and no one would dare impersonate her.
So the moment you spoke,
I believed you. If you weren't, why didn't you say so earlier?
do you know what a terrible mistake you've made me commit?
What if I had said I was her? Why didn't you believe me? The bodyguard hurried to explain.
No, it's not like that. It's because Secretary Chin told me that the young lady was being treated on the 5th floor of the hospital. When I went in, I happened to see
The injured Shen Qiu there,
she insisted firmly again.
that she was the Xia family's daughter. Even if I didn't want to believe it, I had to.
Besides, she was dressed head to toe in designer brands.
I never suspected a thing.
We've been too cautious with you. That's why some of the bodyguards
Don't even know what you look like. All those who hurt you, I will make every one of them pay. Shiwei, tell your big brother. Am I not your boyfriend? We've been together for 3 years. You love me so much.
Our two families are supposed to forge a marriage alliance. Tell him all of this it's a misunderstanding.
I let out a cold laugh and brushed his arm away. My marriage partner has already been changed to Muze. Just you wait. I'll make sure the Xia family learns a hard lesson, but I'll protect Muze with everything I have. In the future, whether the Xia family stays or falls, will depend on his wishes. As for you, you're on your own.
This is still far from over. What comes next is no longer your concern. Just focus on getting better. In 6 months, I'll arrange your wedding for you.
The casts on my injured legs were finally removed, the plaster came off, and after another period of recovery, I was almost able to walk normally again. Siamius proposed to me. In my previous life, I thought Xie Juochuan had a bright personality and knew how to please people, and I fell in love with him at first sight. Once I decided he was the one, I couldn't be bothered to consider anyone else. His temperament more considerate and generous. Utterly faithful to me. In times of danger, all he thinks about is protecting me. We held a grand, once-in-a-century wedding at the Xia family villa. A question suddenly came to mind. How did you know I was there that day? Siamius fell silent for a moment. When he looked up again, so tightly that it had turned pale, I understood in an instant, and tilted my head up to press a kiss to his face. And I won't let you worry about me again.
I love you, Shiwei.
Were peaceful and sweet. Siamius took over. With the Xia family's financial backing and their connections tilted in his favor, he displayed a business talent far surpassing Xia Juechuan's. In our previous life, he had always been suppressed. He even lost his life trying to save me. In this life, he finally has a stage to show his talents. However, that day, the servant, looking somewhat embarrassed, came running to report.
The Xia parents are outside, making a scene and insisting on seeing you.
In my previous life, this pair of parents were outrageously biased. To them, Xia Juechuan was a treasure held in the palm of their hand, while Xia Mia's was. They would either beat him or scold him.
You heartless ingrate. Your younger brother is still suffering in there. Yet you don't even bother to save him. And you even seize the chance to take over his company and his fiancée. Do you have any shame?
Muse. Have your wife immediately.
Go beg the Xia family for mercy.
And sign a letter of forgiveness to get Juechuan out.
And then hand the Xia family president's position back to your brother. You, who've been in unlucky jinx since childhood, think you deserve that seat?
Coming onto my Xia family's turf to make a scene and bully my husband.
Miss Xia. This is still a private matter of our Xia family. No matter what, Juechuan is still the man you loved for 3 years. How can you be so heartless to turn around and marry this man who doesn't even care if his own brother lives or dies?
First, the only reason the Xia family's businesses haven't gone bankrupt is because I, Xia Shui, poured in money to keep them alive. Whoever I'm willing to make president gets to be president. Second, Xia Juechuan is only getting what he deserves. If you dare take a good look at your precious son and all the good deeds he did at the company. Embezzling company funds, cooking the books, and blowing up investments. If it weren't for Muse, your creditors would have long since After dealing with this pair of biased parents, I turned to look at Xia Mia's. The ice in his eyes had already melted. She spun around and pulled me tightly into her arms. She held me so tightly it was as if she wanted to.
Sure way. Thank you.
You are my husband. If I don't protect you, who else would I protect? I'll take you to watch a good show. Shenxia's case is heard in court. Xia Mia's and I sat in the dock. The once arrogant and overbearing, gaunt and withered, had her hair even more disheveled, her gaze unfocused, like a complete madwoman. Before the judge could begin the final verdict, the two of them, trying to lessen their sentences, actually turned on each other in court.
Your Honor, it was all her.
It was this bitch who tricked me. She said she was the Xia family's heiress. She was the one who ordered the bodyguards to do it. I didn't know anything. I was blinded by her.
And shouted himself hoarse. She suddenly tore free from the bailiff's grip, lunged at him and viciously clawed open.
Xie Juechuan, you useless piece of trash. Xia Shui followed you for 3 years, and you still couldn't keep her under control. No wonder you ended up with nothing. You still dare to pin the crime on me. It was you who wanted to throw Xia Shui into the water and electrocute her to death. That was clearly your idea.
Feeling nothing but immense satisfaction inside, the hatred from my previous life, at this moment, was finally, with interest, paid back in full. Shenxia, for being suspected of, was convicted on multiple counts, and sentenced to 15 years. Also charged with intentional injury, but because of the evidence Xia Mia submitted, he was directly sentenced to 20 years. The defendant's seat, his eyes vacant. His entire soul, Shenxia went even further, letting out a terrified scream. When the court adjourned, Xie Juechuan was escorted out by the bailiffs, past the public gallery. Suddenly, as if he had seized his last lifeline, he struggled violently and lunged toward the railing.
Shui, I was wrong.
For the sake of the 3 years we were together.
Go and talk to Mr. Xia. Please, put in a word for me, okay?
I don't want to go to prison. I really don't want to serve 20 years in there.
And smash it against the floor. You even planned to use a live wire to push me into the water with it. How did you not remember? You're not some young master at all. Unwilling to accept it, he tried to shout something else, but the court bailiffs were already dragging him away, leaving behind only a long echo of despair after leaving the courthouse.
Sure way.
As for how Shan Chiwa managed to impersonate you so precisely, I've gotten to the bottom of it.
At the high-end private gown salon we frequented, as a short-term part-time assistant, she hid outside the fitting room and secretly listened in on my call with my eldest brother. That's how she learned I was the Xia family's. Living off maxed-out credit cards, to buy knockoff luxury brands and package herself. In front of Xie Juechuan's pack of useless cronies, she kept dropping crazed hints these people could never get close to. That day only made her even more brazen. It was the last straw.
I've already taken care of the gown boutique. The one who took bribes.
At your whereabouts.
That floor manager has been sent in as well.
From now on, your security level will be raised to their highest.
My eldest brother said with certainty, then hung up the phone. I let out a long breath of relief. The tragedy of my previous life seemed to be all Shan Chiyue's malice. That fanned the flames. Samuels was gripping my hand tightly. I could feel his palm was actually slightly sweaty. I turned my head to look at him. What's wrong?
I just feel that everything I have now is like a dream.
My reflection was mirrored.
I'm afraid that when the dream ends, you'll still be chasing after Xie Juechuan. And I can only stand in the shadows, watching you.
And I suddenly remembered our wedding day, and a question I never finished asking. I tightened my grip around his hand, looked straight into his eyes, and asked earnestly, Muse. On that deserted road in the middle of nowhere, hearing this question, Samuel's body clearly tensed up. He stayed silent for a long time. Finally, he drew in a deep breath.
Because I bribed the driver of the car you often rode in. It's still on your phone. I installed a hidden tracker.
Like a sinner awaiting judgment, his eyes were full of panic.
I'm sorry, Sure way. I know this is twisted, even irrational, but I couldn't control myself. In our last life, no, I mean during the time you and Xie Juechuan were together those 3 years, I watched you give him everything, and watched as he and his friends humiliated you, yet as your brother, I couldn't do anything.
His eyes turned red, his voice was terribly hoarse.
That night, I was already in the car, secretly following you. When I saw Shan Chiyue driving, and ramming into you, sending you flying, I rushed over like a madman. But I was still a step too late.
So that's how it was. No wonder at that moment. Even be beaten to death. This fool, with an almost obsessive, humble yet extremely restrained way, he loved me for 2 whole lifetimes. I wasn't angry. Instead, I leaned over and hugged him tightly. Never miss you again. Ever since we laid everything bare that day, between Samuels and me, the last bit of distance completely vanished into thin air. Hid his possessiveness. Poured into the Xie group. The Xie Corporation not only came back from the dead, but even began to faintly show signs of rising into the ranks of Haishi's top elite families. Inspect the Xie headquarters. They actually rallied a bunch of sleazy media outlets and blocked the building's entrance with a banner. In glaring red characters, the banner read, Unfilial, ungrateful son Samuels. When that pack of reporters. Flashes went off in a blinding storm. Mother Xia sat on the ground, bawling and rolling around.
Everyone, come judge for yourselves. The son I painstakingly raised is now a company president. And he turned around and threw us old folks out of our home, cutting off our bank cards. His younger brother just made a tiny mistake, and he ignored all brotherly bonds and sent him to prison. How can a cold-blooded animal like him be fit to run such a big company?
Siamese instinctively pulled me into his arms, shielding me from the microphones that were practically poking my face. A tiny mistake? I let out a cold laugh. She stepped out from Siamese's arms and met all the cameras head-on, without the slightest attempt to hide. I lifted my hand slightly. From on high, I looked down at Mother Xia, who was throwing a fit on the ground, my voice icy cold. Attorney Wang. Send the evidence to all our friends in the media.
Everyone, take a good look.
During Xi Juechuan's tenure as president,
In order to plug the hole caused when
their younger son gambled outside and kept mistresses. The two elders of the Xi family colluded with the CFO to misappropriate company funds to the tune of 300 million. If it weren't for Mr. Xi Muse paying out of his own pocket and even mortgaging all the assets under his name, the Xi Corporation would have gone bankrupt and been liquidated long ago. And not just that.
we also have documentation of the long-term abuse suffered by their eldest son, Siamese, in his medical forensic reports, starting from when Siamese was 12. At the slightest displeasure, Father Xie would lash him with a belt, leaving him to this day with large areas of old scars all over his body.
Is nothing more than trying to use public opinion to force Muse to hand over money, but let me make this clear to you. The Xie Corporation is now. If you so much as dare to show up again and be an eyesore in front of Muse, I guarantee I'll immediately initiate criminal proceedings against you for embezzlement of company funds. Xie Juechuan is already behind bars. The trash has been taken care of.
Okay.
We'll do as Madam says.
Life finally became completely peaceful. Haishar hosted a top-tier charity gala. It was the first time since my marriage to Siamese that I appeared as the Xia family's second daughter, and as the head of the Xia group. Once, like a humble little follower, and let him drag me along to those trashy, good-for-nothing friends' gatherings, enduring endless disdain and mockery. But tonight, I was wearing a haute couture gown, with a priceless diamond necklace around my neck. And wouldn't even give us a proper glance. We're now all holding wine glasses, lining up to toast us and strike up conversation. Just then, a sudden voice rang out not far away.
Yo!
Isn't this Xia Shiwei? So, now that Xi Juechuan's in prison, you climbed into his brother's bed this fast? You sure have some tricks.
The one speaking was one of Xie Juechuan's old cronies. His family runs a small building materials business in Haishar, so they have a bit of money. He was clearly a good-for-nothing. And just got back. He actually still doesn't know who I really am. Lu Hao held his glass of wine and staggered over, his face lecherous as he ogled me up and down.
But you are dressed pretty decently today. Probably rented.
If you're really short on cash,
Why don't you come follow young master me?
young master here is much more generous than that. Unfavored jinx Siamese.
Before he could finish, a storm suddenly surged. In the depths of Siamese's eyes, he didn't hesitate for even a second, and directly raised his leg, driving a vicious kick into Lu Hao's abdomen. Like a kite with its string cut, crashing straight into the whole champagne tower. Only the sound of the champagne tower collapsing and shattering remained. Lu Hao's face twisted in agony. He pointed at Siamese and started cursing.
Siamese, you rabid dog. How dare you hit me? Security, hurry up and throw this unwanted Piece of trash out of here.
Chairman Wang of the Haisher Chamber of Commerce. And scrambled over, rushing to complain first.
Chairman Wang.
You finally made it. That lunatic Z Muse brought that gold digger Xia Shiwei and caused a scene at your banquet. They clearly don't take you seriously at all.
Chairman Wang glanced at the mess all over the floor. Xiamia's and me, his expression shifted at once, hitting him so hard that blood seeped from the corner of his mouth.
Liu Hao, are you blind, you fool? Standing in front of you
Is the Xie Group's current head, President Xie, and the most doted-on second heiress of the Xia family. Who do you think you are? To run your mouth here?
He stared at me in disbelief, then looked at those business magnates, all of whom were now looking at him, as if he were already a dead man. Only then did he finally realize.
Xia, second miss of the Xia family.
The Liu family's building materials business will be finished in Haisher starting tomorrow.
He had just pronounced a death sentence on the Liu family. And everyone treated us with even greater respect and fear. I pulled Xiamia's down to sit on the sofa, and carefully checked his legs, to see if any glass shards had cut him. From now on, trash like that should be handled by the bodyguards. Xiamia's took the opportunity to hold my hand and pressed his face against my palm, rubbing against it gently.
I couldn't help myself. I can put up with anyone looking down on me, but I absolutely cannot tolerate anyone directing at you, even half a word of insult.
You fool. My heart softened. I lowered my head and kissed the spot between his brows. Half a year later. Successfully acquired several major overseas projects. That afternoon, I was having afternoon tea in the back garden, when my eldest brother suddenly called.
Shuwei, Xie Juechuan made a scene by attempting suicide inside, and was saved by the prison guards.
He's on a hunger strike in protest, insisting on seeing you, he said.
He has in his hands a secret about your previous life that he wants to tell you.
If he doesn't see you, he'll bite his tongue and kill himself. Are you going to see that scumbag?
My hand paused slightly as I stirred my coffee. As for the secret about my previous life, having lived again, and let him spend the rest of his life in true despair. I'll go see him one last time, I answered calmly. In the visitation room, the lighting was dim. It had only been half a year. He'd grown so thin his face was completely changed. His eyes were dull and cloudy, that always self-important look up. A wealthy young master was long gone. He looked like a walking corpse. Xiamia's, shielding me, Xie Juechuan's whole body jolted. He lunged at the glass like a madman.
Shuwei, you finally agreed to come see me.
His voice was hoarse with excitement.
00012 I get it now. I remember everything.
I didn't just get reborn to the day of the crash. Even what happened in our last life, after you died, I saw it all in my dreams.
Without saying a word, he banged anxiously on the glass. Tears and snot streamed down his face.
After Shenxia ran you over and killed you in our last life,
The Xia family dug out the truth.
Shenxia was taken by your big brother.
And tortured to death.
I was also targeted by the Xia family.
In the end, I was reduced to a homeless wreck. And debt collectors broke my leg. Sure way. We both came back carrying
Memories from our past lives, since heaven has given us
a chance to start over.
Why won't you stick to the script? You should love me like you did before. We're the ones who are meant to be together.
Seeing him in this crazed, possessed state, utterly deranged, I suddenly found it all absurdly laughable. This secret he was so proud of. Xie Juechuan. It's heaven's way of making you pay back the life you owe Muse. You think I came to see you because I still care about the past. I stood up and looked down at his completely shattered face. I only came to tell you in person. Watching you live a life worse than death is the happiest thing in my life. Enjoy yourself in there for these 20 years of prison. With that, I hung up without the slightest hesitation, turned around, and took Xiamia's hand. Behind me came Xie Juechuan's. But I didn't even look back once. When I walked out of the prison gates, the sunlight outside was especially dazzling, so bright it made me narrow my eyes. Enclosing my cold fingers, firmly in the warmth of his palm, he just carefully pulled my coat collar up for me, and said softly,
It's getting windy. Let's go home.
"Okay." We didn't go back to our own villa, but drove straight to the Xia family's old estate. As soon as we stepped inside, the delicious aroma of food hit us. Mom, wearing an apron, came out from the kitchen to greet us. Dad and my eldest brother were sitting on the living room sofa, deep in discussion.
Muse.
Come play a game of chess with Dad.
I spent a long time reviewing that last game.
Today I have to beat you.
Dad smiled broadly and waved at Muse.
Go wash your hands. It's time to eat. Today Mom cooked herself and made all your favorite dishes.
Mom said with concern as she.
Why do you look like you've lost weight again lately? No matter how busy work gets, you still have to take care of your health. Don't keep indulging that girl Sherway in her nonsense.
Muse froze for a moment, and then his eyes were suddenly filled with a soft, shimmering warmth. Back at the Xia house. Pure family warmth. And answered softly.
Thank you, Mom. I'm not tired.
Watching him at the Xia house. This is what real family is. This is the happiness, worth giving everything to protect. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, 3 years had passed. Under Muse's leadership, the Xia Group vied with each other to feature as a legend, but he turned down all the in-depth personal interviews. As for those people who once hurt me, met the end they deserved. Every now and then, my eldest brother mentions that in the women's prison, Shenxia let her vanity get the better of her, and kept trying to use her old, fake airs to order others around. In the end, she enraged the prison boss inside, and not only got beaten up badly several times, and because she often incited group fights, her sentence was extended by 5 years. He wanders around the cell like a lunatic all day, sometimes babbling that he's about to become the top-tier young master marrying into the Xia family, and the next moment kneeling on the floor, kowtowing and begging for mercy. All his cellmates treat him as both a madman and a source of amusement. Is willing to crawl on the ground like a dog. When I heard all this, I was in the garden, trimming the branches. I couldn't even be bothered to give a cold laugh. Once thrown away, even a second of attention on. When autumn came, I suddenly started feeling tired all the time, and my appetite grew very poor. I would even feel nauseous, just from smelling the steamed fish. Until one morning, I was in the bathroom, retching so hard that tears were streaming down my face. Mies was so frightened he immediately cancelled a project signing ceremony worth several hundred million. Holding the report, smiled as she pushed open the door of the VIP ward.
Congratulations, President Xia. Congratulations, Miss Xia. You're pregnant.
You're already 7 weeks along. The ward instantly fell into a deathly silence. I blankly touched my still very flat belly. With a thud, the always unshakable Mies and dropped to one knee by the bed. He gripped my hand tightly. Eyes were now completely red. Tears were pattering down.
Sure way. We're having a baby. I'm going to be a dad.
And even his voice was trembling, like a child completely at a loss. I couldn't help but burst into laughter. President Xia, you're going to be a dad. I'm over the moon. He carefully pressed his face, as if there were already a little life inside, kicking away. Her voice choked with emotion.
Sure way. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a real, complete family.
The ward door was kicked open by the hurriedly arriving. The golf club he hadn't even had time to put down. Mom and Dad were so excited. Where's my precious grandson? The ward was instantly filled with laughter and joy. I leaned into Mies' arms, and the corners of my lips curved up. Ever since I got pregnant, Mies basically went into full-on wartime readiness. The house was covered in thick carpets, and every sharp corner of the furniture into the study at home. He even turned down every meeting that required a business trip. Even during video conferences, his gaze would every now and then drift over to me. As for Mom and Dad, it was like a constant stream. Along with limited edition baby products, looking at the mountain of packages, I collapsed on the sofa, both amused and exasperated. Who was cracking walnuts for me? A bit of walking around is actually good for me, if you keep feeding me like this. Samuel picked up the peeled walnut, and carefully fed it to me, then he wiped the corner of my mouth with a tissue. Rested on my heavily rounded belly, his tone was serious, leaving no room for refusal.
How could that be okay? You're now the entire family's top priority to protect. Sure way. I can't bear even a 1 in 10,000 risk.
Lingering tension in his eyes, I knew that the brutal car accident in our last life had ultimately left in his heart a shadow that would never fade. Soothing him softly, "Don't be afraid. In this lifetime, we're all going to be just fine." On the day I was due, a fine drizzle began to fall from the sky. The pain left cold sweat pouring from my forehead, yet Samuel's face was even paler than mine. He didn't loosen his grip. On changing into sterile clothes to go in with me, inside the delivery room, I couldn't help clutching the sheets and muffling a groan. Samuel knelt half-crouched beside the delivery bed.
Sure way. I'm sorry. We won't have any more children after this. Just this one. If it really hurts too much, we're not doing this anymore.
No more kids. Was now crying like a clueless, panicked kid. It was as if he were going through and used the very last of my strength. Then, with a loud, crisp,
Congratulations, President Xia. Congratulations, Miss Xia. She's a very healthy baby girl.
But Samuel didn't even look at the baby first. Instead, he cupped my face in both hands, kissed the sweat from my forehead. His voice was choked to the extreme.
Sure way. You've worked so hard. Thank you for surviving. Thank you for staying with me.
We named our daughter Xia Xinghui, meaning the stars return to their course, that all good things will meet again, on the day of Xinghui's full-month banquet. The lights were dazzling, filled with laughter and joy. Amid the swirl of perfume and silk, there was nothing but flattery and blessings. And on this very same day, my big brother told me, because he tried to attack a prison guard, the maximum security solitary wing for serious offenders, they will never again see the light of day in this lifetime. Hours at the sewing machines and the prison bullies, constant beatings, had her hair turned white from the torment. But isn't even worth stirring up. Holding my little girl in her custom-made princess dress, Xinghui, I stood on the terrace on the banquet hall second floor. The night sky glittered with stars. And draped a suit jacket, still warm from his body, over my shoulders. His broad chest shielded me from all the night wind. The stars. To meet his tender, love-filled gaze, in those eyes, there was none of the cruelty or coldness of the business world. Brimming with starlight. Samuel fully lived up to his title as Haishi's #1 doting dad. This man, who could stir up storms in the business world with a flick of his hand, and was the head of a multinational conglomerate, found his greatest daily joy in little braids for his daughter. Then she dressed in understated casual clothes, aristocratic kindergarten to pick her up that afternoon, and went by the kindergarten to pick up the father and daughter on the way. We had just walked to the kindergarten's VIP reception room door when we heard a shrill female voice inside, speaking in a mocking, sarcastic tone.
Oh my. I say, dear parent, this is the most elite bilingual kindergarten in all of Haisher. Annual tuition is over $1 million. Look at your little girl. There's not even a single flashy luxury logo on her backpack. And the car you use for pickup and drop-off is just an ordinary Phaeton. Don't tell me your family sold off everything you own and pulled strings just to stuff your kid in here.
I frowned. A woman dressed head to toe in gaudy designer brands, reeking of nouveau riche vibes.
See that? Just this outfit on my son cost over 100 grand. There are levels in this circle too. Keep your daughter away from my son. Don't let your cheap sour vibes rub off on him.
Dad. That auntie sounds like that one on TV, the one that quacks like a duck.
Into a cold, sharp arc. He couldn't even be bothered to spare the woman a glance. He just gently patted his daughter's back.
Xing Hui is right. It's too noisy here. Daddy will take you home to find Mommy.
Who are you calling a gigolo? You ill-mannered pauper. If I don't teach you a lesson today, I'm not worthy of the name Lou.
The woman exploded with rage. With a bang. And strode in on high heels, face cold. Let me see who dares lay a hand on my husband, or my daughter. Instantly melted into warmth. To my side, he softly called out.
Wife.
That nouveau riche woman was, startled by the noise of the door. She turned and saw me. The outfit I was wearing, with no obvious logo, but actually a one-of-a-kind haute couture suit.
And who are you supposed to be? Pretty bold of you to talk big.
I let out a cold laugh. I didn't even need to say anything, before the kindergarten principal had already, sweat beading on their foreheads. As they ran in from outside, the principal walked straight past that woman. His voice was trembling.
Mr. Xie. Second Miss Xie. We are truly terribly sorry. It was negligence in our management that allowed someone like this, who doesn't know her place at all, to offend the young miss.
The color draining from her face completely.
Mr. Xie. Second Miss of the Xie family. The Xie and Xia families of Haishur.
In this circle, there, Xie and I are in a league of our own. We're the absolute top tier, are just nouveau riche who've only made a little money. To show up in front of us, let alone carry our shoes. I calmly took off my sunglasses. Principal. If I remember correctly, the Xia family is the largest board sponsor of this kindergarten. And we'll be making an enemy of the Xia family and the Xie group. On the drive home, while leaning in close, looking utterly wronged, and nuzzling my shoulder.
Honey. Good thing you came to save me today. Otherwise, I would have been bullied.
I looked at this man, 188 centimeters tall, yet acting all vulnerable in front of me. I couldn't help but smile and pinch his cheek. Mr. Xia, you've really mastered the good husband code. You've memorized it well. Out there, you can't even be bothered. He followed it up by kissing my fingertips.
Of course. In my eyes. There's only you and Xing Hui. There's no room for anyone else.
We were standing on the very road where, after my rebirth, that desolate stretch of road. This place was nothing like it used to be. The road that used to be full of potholes, tree-lined boulevard, that wild river by the roadside, that almost took my life. A shimmering ecological lake. There my favorite, by the lake stands, a massive stone stele. On it, in bold, powerful calligraphy, 3 characters are engraved. From behind me, Xie, his chin resting in the hollow of my neck. His voice was low and gentle.
Sure way. I bought this entire place. And spent 2 years, turning it into a park. Before, I never dared to bring you here because this place carries our most painful memories. But now, I want to turn it into the most beautiful testimony of us. I want you to know that those dark days have been completely buried. From now on, every scene along this road will be blooming just for you.
Carrying from the hills all around, the fragrance of roses. And at last I can't hold back my tears. I rise on tiptoe, and muse, in this miracle. The enemy from my previous life. Redemption, meeting again, year after year. Our story will, beneath a sky full of stars, and a sea of roses,